Almost done with the very first edition of the Next Gen Series in New Zealand, presented by Repco, and we finished this weekend off and this series off with the final race of the weekend in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Cracking race to look forward to because, as we know, Andrew Waite, we have 26 points between the leader, Hayden Baccaris, and of course Hugo Allen, who we thought might get penalised, went to the stewards after a bit of a tap on Zach Blinko, was cleared, so it's all on again like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and just to explain a bit more on that, why he got cleared of that was the car in front did be deemed to have slowed down early, and you know, from the on-camera shot, the initial shot, it doesn't look good for Hugo, but that is why they don't make decisions there. That's why they have guys like Rowan Shepherd, who is you know, ex-champion. They've got him involved to be able to dissect these things and work out what is actually going on. So he's been cleared of that. So he's been able to chip away just a couple more points out of the championship leader, Baccaris.
Yeah, it's going to go all the way down to Taupo International Motorsport Park and the ITM 440 and supercars. But we've got a race to go here. Boy, I'll tell you what, some of the season, these cars have started out clean, but there's a lot of sticky tab on them now, isn't there?
They started out clean. They started out brand new. Don't forget, they're not so brand new anymore with a few marks on them. But, you know, as I say, rubbing's racing to a point, but that last race was reasonably tidy towards the end there. So, you know, everyone's starting to find their feet. And then this guy, Tyler Westbury, he did a fantastic job in that last race as well. So it's just great to see some of these guys really starting to come fruition, and Mac Templeton as well. Fantastic job by him.
I was stoked to see Mac Templeton come in because he's such a nice bloke, but also he can drive in those RX-8s. He's proving that's a brand new car, got a little bit of dent already. It happens, but clean racer, good racer.
Yeah, he clearly showed that. He's been fast in the RX-8s, and it's starting to show guys can come out of that RX-8 series into this and be competitive, and you know, to get that result within the top 9th is pretty impressive.
Well, Hayden Baccaris is the man, and we're just coming up to his car now, the number 20 car, and the Endless Medals car, and boy, I tell you what, take a look at that, Tony. Tony's our cameraman. He's probably the best pit lane cameraman in the world, but it just shows that, you know, it doesn't matter how you get around it, rubbing is racing. And this is going to be a tough one because he's the man under all the pressure. Hugo Allen was leading for a while, and then it all changed. Teratonga was a terrible round for Hugo Allen. Hayden Baccaris took control from there, but he's still under the pump, right?
Yeah, well, I think the thing for Hayden is he's just been there throughout the whole series. He's been mistake-free. He's been there when it counts, and he's just been banking the points over and over again. Yes, Hugo's been taking the lead out of him at this round, but it's only been a point here and a point there because Hayden's doing the right thing. He's making the most of what weekends aren't going quite his way. He's still banking those top-level points, and that's why he's still leading this championship.
Consistency. That's what it's all about. Cars are about to be released here in pit lane for the final race of the weekend in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship, part of the Dale ITM Grand Finale. Let's get busy. Rusty.
Stephen, Andrew, thank you very much. Really looking forward to this. Based off the quality of the racing that we enjoyed in the reverse of the top 10 this morning, our second race of the weekend. So cars head out. We have a 26-point gap, just 26 in this ultra-close championship. And at the pointy end of the ladder at the moment, that is between Hayden Baccaris and Hugo Allen. So it will go absolutely to the final round of the championship. And that is all as a part of, you've been hearing us advertising today and making mention of the fact that in the centre of the North Island in a few weeks' time, supercars will be in town at Taupo. And these guys will conclude their championship there. Josh Bethune, good weekend for Josh, and on balance, because we set the grid for this one based on the fastest lap times of race 1 combined with the fastest lap times of race 2. So even if you have a weekend that is subpar, something goes wrong, you can salvage a little bit if you can bolt some quick laps together. So Arthur Braun will start this one, unfortunately with a penalty in the last race for a safety car infringement, I think it was. He'll start out of 7. Emerson Vincent out of 13, alongside Harry Townsend, who's been fighting back after an issue with the gearbox earlier in the weekend. Now, Caleb Byers out of 21. Zach Blinko, I haven't been able to, in between all the commentary we've been doing, get down and chat to those. Ronan Murphy, that were involved in an incident a little earlier today, but it seems like the crews have done a good job to get everything repaired.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's managed to make the grid for this final race. And yeah, obviously it was a really unfortunate sort of turn of events on that first lap. Obviously, as Andrew was explaining in the pit walk, you know, Hugo Allen, one of our championship contenders, was involved, but he was cleared of any wrongdoing. It seemed to be that the car ahead had unfortunately had a moment or a lapse or something had happened and slowed down while you would be expected to still be going full noise. So he he was cleared of any wrongdoing, and after seeing a bit of vision, right, seems to be rightfully so. So he's yeah, that fifth place he had was kept, and he's managed to put a good enough 2 laps together from the first 2 races to be off grid 5, and his championship contender, Hayden Baccaris, is off 11. So Hugo's definitely in the prime position from that point. But you got to factor in guys like Josh Bethune, who's now moving up in the championship. He's off the pole, so he's going to be another one to watch, and he's got his M2 by Right Karts by M2 competition teammate there on the front row alongside him in Cooper Barnes.
There it is, repaired, and nice summary there too. Thank you for doing that. Should also say someone to watch out for on the second row of this race, Chris White Jr., alongside the vastly experienced Justin Allen, who stitched together a very good race result yesterday. The experience coming to the fore for the Napa driver. Great benchmark for some of these young racers. But White Jr.'s car has been fast this weekend, did a cracking job in race 2 earlier today. He's eager to try and convert from that second row of the grid if he can. Jet Murray, the Australian, brother of Cooper Murray, running for Erebus in Oz. Here we go, lights are out, final one of the weekend. Bridgestone GR86. And down into one we go. Look at the pack and save entry. Carrying lots of speed round the outside. Can he hold on to it? White trying to, but Josh Bethune should be able to get it. Now White doesn't want to get boxed out there. Oh, the wide line, not ideal.
And Chris White Jr.'s run really wide there. He made a bit of a mistake in that. He just tried. He was eager. He wanted to try and get round the outside there, and it just didn't quite work out. He's actually lost the spot back to Josh Bethune. Hugo Allen's there in 5th place again. Jet Murray there as well. The tail of the top 10 there. We can see that orange car of Hayden Baccaris in there behind Cormac Murphy. Mac Templeton's going down the inside of somebody as well there. The pack's pretty close. We've had a lot of 2-wide action this weekend, but so far it's been relatively clean on this opening lap.
Car placement is everything, and you've got to give credit to White Jr. for having a go, but it's on the wider line. You're trying to do something that's a bit brave. Cormac Murphy there, a little bit of contact, and unfortunately, he gets run wide in the process in that final corner. The point I was going to make, Justin Allen was able to pounce and capitalise. Now White's trying to fight back, and they've lost touch with our leading pair in Cooper Barnes and Josh Bethune.
It actually looked like Cormac Murphy got a little bit of grass there, and that was what fed him off at that last corner. He's now on the outside of the championship leader, and Simon Hunter's also trying to capitalise on that as they come through turn 1.
Oh, White trying to sneak down the inside. Now goes the other option. Doesn't want to let Hugo Allen in there, though. So he's fired up and trying to get it done, but that is also with a little bit of a risky element, because if you, as we were saying before, if you place yourself in the wrong spot, and Allen will pounce, won't they?
And there's clearly a lot of speed in that 88 car of Chris White Jr. It's just managing to find a way to pass the car ahead. These cars are so even, it's a spec class, everything's the same. So the driver and maybe a little bit of setup is what makes the difference in these situations. We see 3 wide there. Cormac Murphy's ended up off the road along with Jack Westbury.
Oh.
Huge bloody moment there for those guys. That has not ended well. Cormac Murphy's got a heap of dirt and dust in the front of that car.
He looks like he's ready to join Toyota in the World Rally Championship, doesn't he? That's not what we want from Cormac Murphy.
No.
Back in action. We go back to the front. So Cooper Barnes in the 186, leading from Josh Bethune. But then it's a little bit of a gap, as you can see here. There you go. Our race 1 winner, Justin Allen, holding down 3rd from an energised Chris White Jr.
Simon Hunter there's attacking the back of the number 20 car of Hayden Baccaris, the championship leader, there's about 4 or 5 cars between Hugo Allen and Hayden Baccaris. Jet Murray in there behind Hugo Allen. We see there Emerson Vincent, AJ Giddy having a good battle, but it's the 2 Right Karts by M2 competition cars way out in front at the moment. They've got a pretty sizable gap over Justin Allen in the 99 Napa car.
Here we go, replay. This will tell what happened with Cormac.
Yeah.
Oh, so he gets a little bit squeezed out there in his defence by the looks of it. The 4 ran wide, and did he have to sort of take evasive action?
It's always going to be hard to try and drive around the outside of someone there at that hairpin, and it usually doesn't come off very well for the car on the outside. So maybe a little bit ambitious there, and it clearly hasn't worked out very well. And Jack Westbury was also involved in that and ended up off the road too.
So Back we go to Harry Townsend, who's trying to recover from the drama earlier in the weekend. And you know what? He is knocking on the door of the top 10. The Bayswater entry, 11th at the moment, chasing Simon Hunter. Back we go to Allen and White Jr. again. Little tap of the brakes on the run into one. Carry that speed, that momentum. Hugo Allen. Good. This is good for the points race. Allen is 5th. Hayden Baccaris is 9th. Remember, it's the other way around in terms of the points ladder.
Yeah, exactly right, Rusty, and certainly it's in favour of Hugo Allen at the moment. He'll be pulling some points back on Hayden Baccaris. Baccaris has been pretty smart this race so far, though. He's just kept it clean. Obviously, he was the car on the inside at that turn 5 incident a lap or two ago, but he's doing a great job there. Mac Templeton's doing a brilliant job there. He's there in 8th place, so he's made up a spot from where he had finished the previous race, and he's in there behind Arthur Braun, who's also a graduate of the Mazda RX-8 Championship.
I'm glad that you bring that up, because you talked in our coverage of race 2 earlier today about the fact that he targeted coming into this out of the Mazda series, just a kind of top 10, top 12 finish. It'd be something he'd be satisfied here as he's learning, getting used to the step up in competition and so on. And they play for keeps in this class. He's done a really good job. Another appearance in the top 10. Well done.
100%. And we see there Chris White Jr., another one of those guys out of the Mazda RX-8, the reigning Mazda RX-8 champion. He's there in 4th place. He won a race this morning, doing a great job there in 4th. Just in behind Justin Allen.
Little wonder, sorry, Ronan, that he was awarded the Tony Quinn Foundation support, and he's proven to be a great speaker out of the race car as well, but he's doing the job behind the wheel at the moment. But getting by Justin Allen is a very difficult mission. He's had years in this 86 class, and that sort of stuff in the memory bank, knowing what to do. Yes, this is the newer generation car. Yes, we're now on a Bridgestone tyre and so on, but all those years in the class, that serves him well. Yeah, exactly right. And the racing at the front here is top quality, really, really top notch. These guys are putting on a great show, the top 5 or 6 cars at the moment. And as we look further back there, Jet Murray's done a great job to stay there in 6th, Arthur Braun in 7th, Mac Templeton there in 8th. Again, he's that one we highlighted earlier, first time debut weekend in the category. Hayden Baccaris there in 9th, and Simon Hunter currently in the top 10 as well. Good showing for him. So a couple of stats filtering through from Nico Coyol, who does an excellent job as in that Motorsport manager role. Here we go, sneaking down the inside. That's for the race lead. Josh gets by Cooper Barnes, new race leader.
Good pass there from Josh Bethune, very clean on his teammate. You never want to race your teammate too hard, but that was really clean racing between the two Right Karts M2 guys. And they clearly have a handle on those cars at the moment, because they are currently 2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. So they clearly got those cars dialed and doing a really good job out front. Coming into this, Baccaris and Bethune have the most podiums. 7 each in what's been an unforgettable series. Most wins sits with Justin Allen with 3. Here we go. Now Allen trying to get by Chris White. He's gone left, he's gone right. Now White should be okay by the time we get to the next corner. But he's put him in a compromising position there, so now Chris will know Hugo Allen's there in his mirrors. He tried that switchback move, tried to sell him the dummy. Really, really smart bit of racecraft there from Hugo Allen, and now it's got Chris White Jr. looking in his mirrors rather than focusing on Justin Allen. Let me give you another little factoid here, and I'm not the best with these, but here you go. The gap in championship terms now was 26 points coming in as it stands at the moment, and Hugo Allen may pick up more if he can get by Chris White. The gap is down to 13 points now between Baccaris and Allen. Allen's reduced it from 26 down to 13 and maybe could get more. Exactly right, he's all over. So this is that switchback we were talking about. Sold him the dummy. Chris is looking in the mirrors, follows Hugo to the outside of the racetrack, and Hugo cuts back across under brakes. Really, really smart bit of racecraft there from Hugo Allen. If the corner was going the other way for the next corner, he would have had that move completed. But what it did do was separate him away from Justin Allen a little bit. It's giving Hugo the chance to be able to attack Chris without any pressure from behind or in front. Penultimate round of the championship. We spoke with Hugo Allen in the build-up. He talked on a couple of occasions, Ronan, about being in that bubble. He's kind of shielded himself from thinking about Hayden Baccaris and what may or may not play out, what mind games or psychological games may or may not play out. Just he knows this class of racing well. Just keep delivering like he's doing right now. Exactly right. He's putting in a huge amount amount of pressure on Chris White Jr. So this is going to be testing Chris's mental strength right now, because he's got one of the championship contenders riding behind him, trying all different things to try and get past him. He's now lost that toe a little bit to Justin Allen, so he's really going to have to work hard to keep Hugo Allen at bay, because there's clearly a lot of speed in that number 17 Kiwi Tough car right now.
There you go. So the question for me is, why has White Jr. maybe used up some of the goodness in the rubber in that early fight with Justin Allen and so on? Allen's cleared away here, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think once a couple of cars start battling, it's very hard to try and stay ahead, and also to keep the gap to the car ahead, because at the moment, Chris White's lost a lot of ground to Justin Allen in this fight, because he's so focused on Hugo Allen at the moment. And what's about to happen is Hugo's now we're starting to see Jet Murray is now starting to find his way into the fold here of this battle. Arthur Braun's also there and behind him, and so is Mac Templeton, who's doing a great job there in 8th.
That's a great point. This is about to become real fast. What are we talking here? A 6-way fight almost at the moment, or 5-way fight. So White Jr. has got his hands full, but he's got to not think about that. Try and resist looking in the rearview mirror. Just keep getting on with what you're doing. As a rookie, he's had a superb year in this class.
Absolutely, he's been a standout performer so far, and obviously for Chris, winning that second race this morning was a brilliant showing and showed heaps of speed in that car. So you see here, Hugo's now looking around the outside on the exit of turn 1. He's trying everything he can to try and find an opportunity to try and get past Chris White Jr.
Such a risky scenario here. I love the fact that he's having a dip here at the moment. He does it cleanly too.
That was
Gets
a
it done.
beautiful pass. That was an incredible bit of racecraft there from Hugo Allen. What a pass.
The point I was trying to make, and I'll get you to buy in on this, the temptation is points. He's now just lowered the margin even more. It was 13 points to Hayden Baccaris. He's just gained a little more in that title fight. But he can't get caught up in the fight too much here with White Jr. and put all that at risk.
Exactly right. He's now fully managed to clear him, because they stayed too wide for a period there. Now he's running the defensive down towards there, but he's got the inside line. So he's put himself in the perfect position to be able to drive away. And this is that pass again, Rusty. So the commitment and the trust in the other driver to be able to stay on the outside there and not get rotated, that's the quality of racing at the front in this field, and shows the quality of young talent we have in this field, because that was a beautiful pass. And to trust that the car was going to have the grip there and be able to hold that line the whole way around the corner and get ahead, that's seriously takes a bit of thought.
Respect. I love that. Great. Right. That just highlights exactly why 86 Racing is so good. Both of them superb performance. And look at this. The youngster Jet Murray's entered the fray. Here we go.
Yep, and Jet Murray's now been brought into this fight. So Hugo's on the defensive. Jet's looking a bit pushy there. He got right up into the back of Chris White Jr. Hugo's actually managed to get a bit of reprieve out of this, and Chris is now having to run the defensive. This may give Hugo the break he needed to be able to pull away. He's now got a car length gap over these guys. Chris White Jr.'s car's just not quite holding on towards the end of this race, not quite as well as it did this morning.
Tom Worsley from Bridgestone in Australia, who's worked in a comms capacity, is a massive fan, so the Bridgestone contingent will be thrilled with this. They've jumped on board for this season, and we're getting some tremendous racing. And now that everyone's started to get an understanding of these new cars and how to get the best out of them, and the new tyre as well, so good racing at the moment. Allen has cleared a car length here now, so he's broken free, but with only a handful of laps left to go, can he get close to Justin Allen and maybe grab a podium, maybe a third?
Clearly a lot of speed in that car of Hugo Allen's. He's managed to pull away from Chris White Jr. a bit there.
You ready?
See there the Action Motorsport team watching on Jet Murray.
You ready? It's down to 8 points. The gap is 8 points. That's how vital that pass was, which we got to enjoy as fans, how good that was on Chris White Jr. It's into single digits. He's got it down going into the final round to 8 points.
And you got to give Chris White Jr. a lot of credit in that as well, to be able to pull the car up nicely, not make any contact, and for them to be able to go too wide through there. It was some seriously good car control and a lot of trust between the two of them, and respect. That's the main thing. You know, we've seen a lot of collisions and rubbing and things over the season, but that was a really beautiful bit of racing between those two.
Might be the standout rookie, might have stepped up from the Mazda Racing Series, but that was a really measured and good piece of driving. We got to be entertained, but there was no paint swapping going on. Look at the 37 now. So Jet Murray, g'day to Cooper if you're watching. Racing with Erebus this year, this is Jet Murray. And I think he sort of reflected earlier that the tempo of racing here in New Zealand is maybe tough is not the right word for it, but there's a bit goes on in these races, and I think he's a bit surprised by that relative to Australia.
Absolutely, and he's certainly been doing a good job in this race so far. He's sitting there nicely behind Chris White Jr. You got Arthur Braun there in 7th, who's having a great showing as well. He didn't have a great last couple of rounds, did Arthur, but he's doing a really good job here this weekend and being consistently in the top 10. Mac Templeton, he's been one of my standout performers this week, and he's doing a great job there in 8th. His granddad Russell Mackenzie, I was talking to him earlier, and he's pretty pumped up about it all, and I'm sure he'll be loving this right now, watching Mac there in 8th.
When you look at the lap times too, if you compare Arthur Braun and Mac Templeton last time by, you know what, when they crossed the line, the difference, Ronan, was just 0.05 of a second. That's really solid for Mac Templeton. He should be pleased with that. They're going toe-to-toe at the moment, not much in it. Josh Bethune leads the way by nearly a second. It's 0.853 over Cooper Barnes. Justin Allen, our race 1 winner, looking like picking up another podium with a couple of laps to go. He's 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look a bit further back, there's quite a sizable gap from Mac Templeton back to Hayden Backera. So those cars sort of at the end of the top 10 and just outside the 10, obviously we're having to fight pretty hard for their positions a bit earlier on, and it's unfortunately cost them a bit later in the race, and the gap between sort of 8th and 9th has swelled out quite a bit.
Caleb Byers with some battle scars continues on. Mason Potter there as well in the 47. We're looking further back, we're looking at 20th and 21st respectively, and I think the 47 of Potter gets up the inside at turn 1. Nicely done.
Good pass there from Mason Potter. Good racing between those two guys. Again, no paint swapped, and that's what we like to see. Nice, clean, hard racing.
There is an army here as well, supporting Thomas Mallard, who's just ahead of them. It's Thomas's 18th birthday tomorrow. If I see one more Hawaiian shirt that I think, what does it say? Happy birthday, Thomas, or something. I can't remember what it says on them now.
Thomas turns 18.
18, yeah. So big celebrations. We hope he has a ripper day tomorrow.
Yeah, and as we look back through the field, so Josh Bethune's grown that gap to Cooper Barnes to about a second, so he's done a great job there. But those M2 right parts by M2 competition cars have managed to extend that gap to Justin Allen to 2.4 seconds. Hugo Allen, the damage was sort of done having to fight so hard with Chris White Jr. A great battle at that, has sort of lost a bit more margin.
Last lap board is on display. Josh is headed for home. Another podium about to be added. Cooper Barnes sitting back in second. Now, Allen has closed the margin a little, but not enough. So I think this will be a status quo scenario. The most important takeaway here, and this is not taking anything away from our top 3, Hugo Allen has trimmed the advantage that Hayden Backera currently has. It was 26 points coming into this race. If they finish as they are now, going into the all-important final round in Topor, Allen will trail by just 8 points. It is going to be game on in this class in Topor.
Yeah, and that's going to be a real headline going into the Supercars round. What a finale it's going to be for the Bridgestone GR86 Championship, the inaugural season, to have 2 guys going into the last round separated by 8 points. That's going to be a cracker.
Yep, going to be epic. Here he is. Really good job. Nice pass on Chris White Jr. to just trim that advantage a little more. That all-important advantage down from double digits to single. Headed for the line. Josh Bethune's going to take this one out here at Hampton Downs. Final one of the weekend from Bridgestone GR86. Greets the checkered flag from Cooper Barnes and Justin Allen, an excellent 3rd in the Napa Auto Parts entry.
Yeah, brilliant job from all those guys there in that top part of the field. Mac Templeton moved up to 7th at the end there, so he managed to get past, and something's happened to Arthur Braun by the looks of it. He's dropped back to 9th, so something happened there, but great racing between the top 8 and 9 cars. It was really, really good race.
That will adjust the championship points, that as well. So Allen got 4th. His rival Backera ultimately finishes 8th. We'll update the numbers for you shortly and what that means. One thing's for certain, it's going to be close going into Topor. Well done to Josh. He takes it out from Cooper Barnes. That pass going into turn 1, just beyond the midpoint, maybe 2/3 of the way through the race, proving all important. Justin Allen gets home in 3rd. Hugo Allen trimming the advantage to you know, we'll crunch the numbers for you, but that fourth place finish is very well deserved.
And great to see, obviously, Chris White Jr. round out the top 5 there. Highlight of the race was that battle with Hugo Allen. Jet Murray, Mac Templeton, Hayden Baccaris, Arthur Braun, and Zach Blinko running out the top 10. And from then on, it was all on in that race, that final race, the 14-lapper for the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. And Josh Bethune took the spoils in that one. He drove faultlessly, beautiful pass on his teammate, and drove away to a victory of just over a second.
Highlights for you. Final one of the weekend for Bridgestone GR86, and away went Cooper Barnes and Josh Bethune from the start line, but it was a racy Chris White Jr. right in the fight with Justin Allen. That car, that pack and save entry was fast, and for a time he was trying to find a way by. Further back in the pack, Mac Templeton coming through. He would ultimately finish in an excellent 7th place.
Yeah, he did a brilliant job. He was one of the standout performers all weekend, Mac Templeton. First time in the category to come away with 2 top 10 race results is brilliant.
This was the move. Gets it done at 1, and that moved Josh into the race lead. From there, he wasn't headed. Would win the race by just over a second. Here's Justin Allen. He would manage to get a bit more space. And then a critical pass from Hugo Allen, a really respectful pass. Great racing with Chris White Jr. Further back in the pack, Mason Potter, Caleb Byers going at it. Checkered flag. It went to Josh from Cooper Barnes, and Justin Allen was 3rd. Now, as we get set to take you to victory lane with Hayden Baccaris getting ahead of Arthur Braun up into 8th, the revised numbers, it's only 11 points now between Hayden Baccaris at the top of the ladder in Bridgestone GR86 and Hugo Allen, who finishes in an excellent 4th place. He's reduced the margin from 26 down to 11, going into the title deciding event in a few weeks' time in the centre of the North Island. Let's go to Stephen.
Thank you, Greg. Well, Josh Bethune, what a great weekend. That's your 8th podium of the season, by the way, so you're a leader in podiums, but the win, more important. Congratulations.
Yeah, like you say, we've had a lot of podiums. We've had a fair few taken off us, but yeah, this one feels good to finally get the weekend done and dusted and all put together.
Those team cars, right carts by M2, they were rockets. They were silver bullets today.
What can we say? They're a fucking rocker. They're very good.
Did you just drop the F-bomb? Yeah, apologise, mate. Sorry. Yeah, not an R18, Paddy. No, you shouldn't do that. Anyway, let's just move on from that one. But just how much different does it make being out the front, but also being pushed by your teammate?
Honestly, me and Cooper have had a great year. We've pushed each other along the whole way, and yeah, it's been great to see his development, and obviously he's pushed me along a lot.
Having fun?
Definitely. It's yeah, good to be at the front.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Let's talk to his teammate from Right Carts by M2, Cooper Barnes. Wow, couldn't get past your teammate, bud.
No, he was a bit fast. Thought I had him at the start, but he just had overall better pace.
Rate your weekend. How would you look at this weekend?
Oh, I'm super happy. 2 podiums. It's best I've ever done, so yeah.
And the racing itself?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's so fun out there. It's so hard as well.
Keyword happy today, right?
Yeah, that's
well done.
Thanks.
All right, and Justin Allen, where is he? Come over here. Yeah, just the old boy just hanging off the wall, having a yarn to people. Hello, mate. Congratulations. Another podium. And as we said right at the beginning of the weekend after rebuilding the car, it's a nice way to return.
Oh, 100%. This week, Lord Baby Jesus did a bloody good job. Thanks to Napa, Fielding Auto Electrical, Capture Science, yeah, all the team. Obviously, Glenn, Kerry, the old man. Got to say hi to Paris and the kids at home as well.
Yeah, let's talk about the field, though. It seems to be a lot cleaner this weekend, which is a nice surprise for everyone and assure all the people's pockets as well.
Oh, 100%. There's been a lot of damage over the season so far, so it's good that most of us have clean cars going into the next round of supercars, and myself included. Huge thanks to Toyota. What an amazing event yet again, and yeah, bring on supercars around.
Yeah, does that excite you? You know, the big audience. You know, the whole, and it's it's round supercars.
Oh, I guess so. I'm getting a bit old, as everybody knows. You know, I've got the grey hair to show it now, and 3 lovely kids at home. So yeah, it's still an amazing event that the Repco Supercars put on there. So yeah, we'll bring the Napa home car there.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
All right, time for the podium. Let's get on with it, shall we? Podium race 3, round 5, here at the Hampton Downs Motorsport Park in the Waikato at the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Trophies today will be presented by Willem Conradi, the corporate account manager for Bridgestone New Zealand. Let's start in 3rd place, shall we? And Justin Allen. In 2nd position, Cooper Barnes. And your winner, and now leading with podiums all season with 8 podiums so far this season. And your winner in race number 3, round 5, Josh Bethune. And that is your official podium for race 3, round 5 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Gentlemen, I'll ask you to vacate the podium as we go into the round winners, and again presented by William Conrade, the corporate account manager for Bridgestone New Zealand. Start with the rookie winner of the weekend, and that goes to Chris White Jr. As he receives his trophy, Chris White getting very much closer to being rookie of the year as well. Your round 5 Masters winner, Simon Hunter. And your round 5 Bridgestone GR86 round winner is Josh Bethune. So that's the official podium for your round winners for race, or should I say, round 5 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Gentlemen, feel free, it's in front of you. Spray some champagne. So let's just remind you where the championship points stand as far as the competition goes. And I think it's it's come well back in. It was 26 at one point at the start of the weekend. It's now going to come back down to, I think, 11 points. So Hayden Backrus holds an 11-point lead over Hugo Allen. I've got to say, the way Hugo Allen drove in that last race, Rusty, that pass on Chris White Jr., he's hungry to get that point.
I just think between the both of them, it was tremendous racing for us to enjoy. It underscores how much it means to Hugo, to go into the last event with just over 10 points basically in it. Really cool.